South African filmmakers and producers are unhappy about the Department of Trade and Industry's alleged inaction on critical issues affecting the sector. Among other issues, they say many in the industry are losing jobs. They are calling for change and collaboration for mutual growth and prosperity. For more on this, we are now joined by the chairperson of the Independent Producers Organization, Tshepiso Chikapa-Phiri. Tshepiso, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. So you held that protest action. Was there any response from the department?
Yes, we've had a response from the department. In actual fact, we informed the department about 2 weeks ago of our intended picket, which happened on Thursday. And subsequent to that, we've had a meeting with the Deputy Minister of the DTIC to discuss a way forward and how to resolve the challenges that we're currently faced with, in line with the way the department has been treating and dealing with our incentive.
Okay, just tell us about some of the issues that you have raised with the department, and we know that this is not the first time that some of these issues would have been raised, and what the response was at that particular time during that meeting with the Deputy Minister.
Well, one of the big challenges is that there haven't been meetings with the adjudication committee of the DTIC to look at applications for the incentives, the various incentives for the film and television industry for a period of about a year. The implication of that means that a lot of productions have not been able to go ahead because the funding from the incentive does not necessarily go into the producer's pocket. It actually goes into the production to enable the production to be greenlit. The other big challenge has been that there is a huge backlog of claims of the incentive once the productions have been shot, or the milestones for the local productions. Normally what happens is that they get paid over a period of time once you've achieved certain milestones, and that has not been happening. So there's about a backlog. The department currently is paying claims of 2023, meaning that we are running about 2-3 years behind in terms of the payment of claims. So Those are the two major issues.
No, you can go ahead.
Oh, those are the two major issues. The other major issue is that the department in 2023 launched new guidelines. Those guidelines are, not all of them, but some of them are challenging and problematic because there is a lot of misinterpretation from the department's administrators and sometimes from our side. And we then discussed with the department in 2023 that could we have a moment where we go through those guidelines and rectify where the challenges are. The department had then agreed that within a period of 3 months, we could do that. We then submitted our objections, and we've never had any feedback since. So we're sitting with guidelines that are also challenging and sometimes very difficult to interpret.
Yeah, and with the delay in the payment of the incentives, considering that you're dealing with a 2-year backlog here, does that come with interest?
No, not at all. It's quite challenging because, of course, as you can imagine, a lot of filmmakers have had to then take loans against the approved amounts. Therefore, those filmmakers are faced with paying interest rates on the loans that they've taken. But when the incentive gets paid to them, it does not come with interest. So you're already running at a loss. Yeah,
and I totally understand that, also considering all of the capex that you have to deal with.
Of course, yeah. So it's very challenging and very problematic for the industry.
Okay, so what happens now? What's the next step?
Well, the Deputy Minister has agreed to form a working committee from our side, from the industry side, to work with the department's administrators to try and find solutions to these challenges, to meet more frequently, which is a big step for the department in that we've had absolute silence for over a period of a year. And so to have this working committee is very helpful because hopefully we'll be able to mitigate the challenges quite quickly and get some, viable solutions going.
Yeah, and I know this one is out of the purview currently of the Department of Trade and Industry, but considering that they are also a custodian in this, and this is now referring to the Copyright Amendment Bill as well as the Performance Protection Amendment Bill, which the President has now referred to the Constitutional Court. Was this matter raised at all during that meeting?
No, I think this time this meeting was truly about the three major points that I've mentioned, because obviously the implication of that is that thousands of jobs are going to be lost. In fact, there's already been a halt in terms of the growth and the forward movement of the industry by virtue of the fact that there haven't been meetings for over a year. So we dealt with the priority issues, and I think as we continue to engage with the department, we can then deal with the other issues that are still affecting the industry.
Yeah, okay then. Are you able to just list a few of those other issues that are still affecting the industry?
Well, I mean, a lot of them, it's quite difficult because a lot of them sit in the guidelines themselves. So issues around interpretation of the BE Act in line with our industry, documents that need to be submitted, the processes, the timelines, and of course the issue of the Copyright and Performance Bill is one of the challenges, and we're hoping that, you know, somehow there's going to be some positive movement around it. It's not like the industry is completely adverse and against the bills, but we need to negotiate some points of the bills that could detrimentally affect the industry once again.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Tshepiso Chikapa-Phiri is the chairperson for the Independent Producers Organization. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.